Hey everybody, I'm Cory, Ballad. I was sitting here trying to wait for the video to come on, but it was still in the camera mode. So I'm just slow. Okay, let's go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment on the video down below, and share the video on other platforms. And visit my other platforms. You can visit my blog, corysong.blogspot.com, and read my new ebook. It's called I Have Done Enough, and it is free over on my blog. All my information is down in my description. This video is going to be another reaction video to um, one of the documentaries that are on YouTube. Two of them actually. I just put them together. They're miniature documentaries. So, excuse me. So I just put them together, and they're just about cartoons, really quick. These two are about Hey Arnold, and one of them is called. The first one is called 10 Times Hey Arnold Got Depressingly Dark, and it's by Wicked Binge. It's a channel on YouTube. And then the other one is by Frederator. What's their name? Hold on. Channel Frederator. It's 107 Facts. Hey Arnold Facts You Should Know by Channel Frederator. So, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and get into it really quickly. I got notes here. That's why I'm looking down, if you see me looking down in the thing. But I'm just going to go over a few things. So in this video by Wicked Binge, 10 Times Hey Arnold Got Depressingly Dark, it just went over basically what the title sounds like. So Hey Arnold is a cartoon, a children's cartoon. It came out in the 90s for those of you who might be watching who don't know. And it was basically a show that was it was a cartoon. It was for children, but it was like teaching us stuff in a way. So the person who was narrating this, I guess it's Wicked Binge, or is the person that's narrating this. They were going in depth in some things that were disturbing in the episodes and the messages. And I found it so interesting and intriguing because I watched this as a child so much, and you know, I didn't go that deep into some of this stuff. So it was very interesting to see what someone else thought about this cartoon that I loved and watched when I was a child. He just went very in depth and, was thinking of all these theories. And I was just like, wow, you're really it's like reaching and stretching and finding everything in the nooks and crannies. Like watching it as a child, I just watched it. It was funny. I guess it was, I like the colors. I don't know. I wasn't thinking about some of this stuff like that in that much depth. I don't know. Maybe also because I don't know. Maybe their parents guided them through television and discussed things with them. Because I noticed that my sister-in-law, she does that with my nieces and nephews. Like she sometimes will talk about stuff, and I notice my nieces and nephews, when they're watching cartoons or TV or something, they ask all these questions, and I'm like, why are you asking these many questions? Why don't you just enjoy the show? That's what we used to watch television for, to enjoy the show. But they are different. They want to ask questions about everything in the show. So maybe that's the way they grew up. Like the parents were just, you know, stopping the show or having a discussion with them after the show or something, and we were just watching it in my house to just be entertained and looking at it at a different aspect. That's all I can say. Anyway, so some of the things that he just talked about were just different episodes. He talked about different episodes that were disturbing, or themes in several episodes. So I just wrote down a couple of them. So, or an interesting thing that I found in the episode. So, in this documentary, excuse me. Okay. Anyway, Harold's bar mitzvah. So, on the episode, Harold had a bar mitzvah, and it never occurred to me that he was 13 years old. That meant he was 13 years old. I knew what a bar mitzvah was, and I knew 13-year-olds had it, but I didn't put it together that Harold was turning 13. I thought he was still 9, and I always thought that was, I think I remember thinking that, isn't he only 9? Is it that strange? But they were talking about how in the city that Arnold lives in, that the education system is failing some of the students. And so they talked about Torvald, and then they talked about Harold, and Harold was left back, and he was 13 in the 4th grade. So I was like, wow, I never thought about that. I just thought they were just showing that episode just to show it. Like he was having a bar mitzvah and showing that his Jewish heritage or whatever. But yeah, so he he was actually turning 13, and then he showed a clip where the, his rabbi said that when a boy was turning 13, this and this and that. So it's like, oh, Harold turned 13 in that episode. I didn't know that at all. Um, so then they talked about Harold being bullied for his weight, and how, you know, we felt in the episode when he went to fat camp, how we felt sorry for him, or why did we feel sorry for him. I didn't feel either way, actually. You know, I wasn't looking at it like that. I was just looking at it for entertainment when I was a child. But he was like saying that, you know, when he was watching it, he felt bad for Harold because they were mocking him and stuff like that. But then he posed the question, why would we feel bad for him? He's a bully and he does all this. Then he turned it around towards like saying that the reason that he was a bully is because he was also bullied, and it was adding a layer to his character that I didn't realize growing up either. I just thought, yeah, he's the bully guy or whatever, you know. Didn't think about he was being bullied in that episode. I didn't really think of that as him being bullied before. I don't know. I just didn't think like that as a child. I didn't think that he was being bullied during that episode. That's all I can say before. But now that he said that, you know, it's kind of accurate. I could see that. All right. Then they talked about Helga, her love for Arnold. They got into this theory where because she was so abandoned and neglected by her parents, that she had made this whole thing up in her mind about Arnold and made him the perfect love, and that was so unhealthy for her, stuff like that. So watching Helga do all that stuff, I just thought it was funny as a child, right? So now when they were talking about all this unnatural love that she had for Arnold, and her obsession and the whole shrine, and, you know, collecting his hair and all this type of stuff, like, now that they said all this, is like she was kind of like a stalker psycho, you know, a little bit. Yeah, so it's just a whole bunch of stuff. What else? What else did he talk about? He talked about Lila, that episode. Some of these episodes I could remember. I didn't remember them that well. Lila was when she first came, and then they followed her home and found out that she was really poor, and she was eating like nothing, cans. I can't remember. She was eating not so good food, and, you know, but she was all pretty and everybody loved her. But it had this dark side that she went home and she was sad and poor, and her family, not her husband, her father couldn't get a job and all this type of stuff. Yeah, and I thought that was sad. I did think that episode was sad when I was growing up, but I didn't realize all the levels of despair and sadness and poverty that was involved in that particular episode. But now that they spelled it out in this, I could see that as well. Another thing, he said he was talking about the neglectful parents, and he was talking about of Helga. So Bob Pataki and the mother, I can't remember her name, Miriam. Miriam is her name. And he said that she was an alcoholic, or is presumed to be alcoholic, which I never thought about as a child, that she would be alcoholic. I just thought, oh, her mother, she can't really, she like stutters, or she like stutters her speech and or whatever. I didn't even notice when she would be like sleeping on the couch and making up drinks and stuff like that. But I didn't notice any of that stuff like that. And then they pointed out how they loved Olga, And, you know, as a child, I didn't think anything about that either. I just thought it was a funny part of the show. But from a psychological standpoint on Helga's part, it was really sad and traumatic. Looking back and listening to what he had to say about that. It's crazy. Then the two most, these were the top 2 episodes that were the most depressing that he said. The Stoop Kid episode and the Chocolate Boy episode, when Chocolate Boy wanted to get off of chocolate and Arnold was helping him. The Stoop Kid episode is like my favorite episode. It's like, I think it's a lot of people's favorite. It's like the most famous episode. Hey Arnold, almost. A stoop kid's afraid to leave a stoop. Stoop kid's afraid to leave a stoop. But he broke down all these things about him. Like, I didn't even get into details about that. And just as time gone on, from seeing the episode as a child and time going on, all I remember is that it was funny, and, you know, stoop kids afraid to leave a stoop, the chant they were doing and whatever. But I didn't even remember the whole backstory about him, like, that they showed. You know, when Gerald does when they have him do his little monologue or whatever. Anyway, he was abandoned on the stoop, and now he because of that, he grew up on the stoop, and he respects the stoop, and he thinks the stoop is the only place where he is secure. And he gets anxious or afraid or nervous or angry when people are close to the stoop, because he has an unnatural attachment to the stoop. And, excuse me, I'm itching all over. And then they said he watched TV and he read a book, which I didn't remember that part where he read the book. But, you know, I know they showed him doing several things on the stoop that regular people would do somewhere else. But it just showed, I just thought it was funny, once again, that he just did everything on the stoop. But he was talking about, when he was reading the book, that he had below average literacy skills. He had unhealthy and attachment to the stoop and abandonment issues. Like, wow, he's really breaking this all down. It's crazy how he did this. And then Chocolate Boy, he was an addict, like almost like a drug addict, which I didn't think of that either. Like, he was a drug addict. Like, this is how, you know, me being a child, this is the way I grew up. We just looked at stuff because it was funny. So Chocolate Boy, he was just funny because he did all this crazy stuff to get chocolate. And but looking back on that episode, when he was talking about it, he was doing self-deprecating, humiliating things to get the chocolate, digging in the dumpster. They had him dancing around. He had no respect for himself, basically. He was, they were depicting him as a drug addict, really. And it was really sad. And then they gave a reason why he started eating chocolate, how he became attached to chocolate, because his grandma would give him chocolate, and he'd feel better about his life and stuff like that. So it was like showing, you know, how in adult life, how drug addicts use drugs to as a coping mechanism, a dependency on substance dependency and all that type of stuff. And then in the end of it, he left that addiction and to grow another addiction. It's what we do in real life as well too. When you're addicted to something, sometimes to break an old habit, you have to replace it with another habit. And sometimes you can replace it with another bad habit. If you have a bad habit, you can replace it with a good habit, or you can replace it with another bad habit. And it's still not turning out so well for you, right? But yeah, this video is longer than I thought, but luckily I have space on my phone, so I might as well go ahead and do the other part. No, I'm just going to end it like this, because yeah, this is long enough. It takes a long time for me to upload it if it's longer. So I'll just do the other video, the other documentary separately. So yeah, I'm going to end this video right here and make a part 2 to this video. Go ahead and like the video, subscribe, comment down below, share the video. visit my blog, corysong.blogspot.com, and read my ebook. It's up on my blog. It is free. I am Cory Ballad, and I'm about to do my outro. Do, 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 do.